Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. The headlines. President Tinubu to meet with power generation companies to resolve debt threatening stability in power sector. Federal government advances clean energy solutions and climate-smart agriculture for sustainable development at grassroots.
Where it is needed most, in homes, farms, industries, and markets.
Nigerian Correctional Service refutes claims of poor inmate feeding. And PDP former speakers of various state houses of assembly support party's legal action to reclaim mandates from defected officials.
Urge the party as a matter of urgency to organize a national retreat.
Thanks again for joining us. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu is expected to meet with power generation companies, GENCOs, to resolve the lingering debt of 4 trillion naira owed the utility companies by the government, which is threatening stability of the power sector. Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, in a statement says the proposed meeting with the president demonstrates federal government's commitment to paying the debt in cash and other instruments already. The power minister met with chairmen of generation companies in a bid to avert imminent shutdown of operations. The power generating companies had threatened to shut down operations if their debt is not paid. But the minister promised GENCOs that government will prioritize immediate payment of a significant amount out of the 4 trillion naira, while the balance will be defrayed through other debt instruments. He assures of payment of the outstanding balance within 6 months through financial instruments such as promissory notes. A major push is underway to transform Nigeria's grassroots economy as the federal government, in collaboration with development partners, advances a bold new initiative targeting the country's 774 local government areas. The focus is on delivering sustainable development through clean energy solutions, climate-smart agriculture, and rural industrialization, key drivers of inclusive growth. Comfort Amodu reports on the coordinated efforts to boost economic opportunities and resilience at the grassroots level.
To enhance food security and improve the nutrition.
There's a growing national conversation around strengthening the economies of Nigeria's local government areas as stakeholders continue to push for targeted interventions and sustained advocacy to drive meaningful grassroots development.
By delivering energy where it is needed most, in homes, farms, industries, and markets, SEED will save families money, create jobs, boost agricultural productivity, and lay the foundation for an industrialized Nigeria.
Under the bold leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the renewed hope agenda is placing human capital where it belongs, at the core of national transformation.
Key challenges identified included energy access, food security, and community safety, with a shared emphasis on the need for customized long-term solutions for rural and underserved populations.
We must harness both traditional and innovative approaches to expand energy access, with particular attention to renewable solutions that can be developed at the community level.
We are developing a national sustainable grassroots development program that will seek to speak to agriculture, security, and sustainable energy as the major ways to catalyze development at the local government level. So we want to build gas-powered plants in all the LGAs, a minimum of 5 megawatts in each LGA that will provide power.
Central to the conversation is the strategic harnessing of vast economic resources at the grassroots and the development of crop value chains.
More than 20 items that nobody farms them, and we all get them every season from the local government freely. So why, if you engage people now officially, enlighten them that, look, if you aggregate this one during the season, this is what you are likely to get.
To ensure that the local people get more money in their pocket, that their businesses thrive, that infrastructure development happens at that level, that the local government can raise money through all the resources they have, including minerals.
Alongside clean energy deployment, the promotion of climate-resilient agriculture is poised to enhance productivity, safeguard natural resources, and strengthen communities against climate-related challenges. If effectively implemented, this initiative, backed by government and development partners, could set a new benchmark for integrated rural development across Africa.
The federal government has approved the establishment of disease-free compartments and zones for the production of 1.2 billion doses of vaccines across board annually, with the National Veterinary Research Institute, JOS, taking the driver's seat. Yusuf Jika reports that this is to enable the nation to triumph better as one of the safest and leading destinations for beef production, marketing and consumption in the world.
The National Veterinary Research Institute (VERM) has remained in the heart of the nation's livestock industry for decades, leading key research and discovery clinical solutions to animal diseases. During an inspection tour of some of the facilities at the Institute, Minister of Livestock Development Idi Mukhtar Meha said the temper for clinical surveillance, innovation and vaccines will be prioritized.
This new ministry has already had a number of investment proposals from both local and foreign investors, particularly in the red meat industry. There is no way we can approach the international global market of red meat with zoonotic diseases all over the place. We have to be in the position to control all those endemic diseases in this country.
We are willing to turn things around. If given the enabling environment, provided with the facilities, we will work. We will make this institute great. We will make Nigeria great.
The minister also inspected the 200 capacity heifer cows Milkway Dairy Farm Bokos, where he promised to develop a roadmap and reviving the factory.
We must re-inject blood and rejuvenate this area. Milky Way Dairy Farm Bokos must work to provide jobs for our teeming youth, to provide the much needed dairy for our families.
Definitely with the partnership we are going into with the federal government, as you have heard the minister say, we will revive this place.
A town hall interactive session was later organized in Mangu Town to encourage participation in livestock development and other critical aspects of the industry. In Jos, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Now, a delegation from Ghana, headed by its Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Okpotu, are in Kebbi State to explore partnership opportunities in Nigeria's agricultural potential, particularly in rice production. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa has more.
It's well known for its massive agricultural production, particularly rice, cultivated in 14 out of 21 local government areas. The state's agricultural potential extends beyond Nigeria to sub-Saharan Africa, which has now drawn neighboring Ghana's officials, headed by its Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Okpotu, to Kebbi State to explore partnership in rice production to enhance Ghana's rice sufficiency.
And in life, our understanding is that life is a process of learning. At every stage, you learn and then you improve upon your performance. And so if Nigeria has a story worth learning, then we should come and then look at it, listen to the people, interact with the beneficiary farmers.
The Kebbi State Deputy Governor, Senator Umar Abubakar, received the Ghanaian delegation on behalf of the state governor and assuring sustained collaboration that will benefit both Nigeria and Ghana.
This kind gesture demonstrates the strong bond of friendship and cooperation between our two nations. I'm happy to inform you that in the area of agriculture, today Kebbi State is the highest producer of rice and wheat in Nigeria.
This partnership is expected to open new doors for collaboration in other areas of development. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
The managing directors of the 12 River Basin Development Authorities in Nigeria have reiterated their commitment to work in line with a federal government's agriculture policy towards meeting food security and socio-economic development. The managing directors, who made this pledge at the end of a two-day retreat, also agreed to work in strengthening collaboration to making the river basins a great economic booster for the country. Speaking on behalf of the Joint Appointee Forum, the Managing Director, Sokoto Rima Basin Development Authority, Abubakar Malam, said they would be transparent and accountable in all their dealings to turn around the river basins in the country. He said it was a common knowledge that river basins had not been working on their mandates due to diverse challenges, saying with the new management in place, efficient delivery of set goals and objectives would be achieved.
Irrigated farmlands, equipped farmers with modern agricultural skills, and the most value chain activities aim at increasing food production.
Development partners, we are sure of getting some equipment like tractors and mills and so many other equipment that we know can boost food production.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll be back with more stories after the break.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, one person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, one person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Turns and twists have continued in the build-up to the election of a new pope at the Vatican few days to the conclave. In the latest development, reports said Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio has now replaced Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin as the new favorite to become the next pope following the death of Pope Francis on April 21. What has happened since the Pope's burial and what is expected on the road to the conclave? Charles Afa will tell us more.
Pope Francis died on April 21 at the age of 88 after 12 years as the leader of the Roman Catholic Church. His death triggered a period of mourning and the commencement of the intricate process to elect his successor. In accordance with long-standing tradition, a 9-day period of mourning known as Novemdals commenced. This period is marked by special masses and prayers by cardinals from around the world. Beginning shortly after the funeral, the College of Cardinals commenced a series of meetings known as General Congregations. This pre-conclave served several crucial purposes. Cardinals discuss the state of the Church and the challenges facing it. While direct campaign is prohibited, these discussions allow potential candidates to emerge and for the cardinals to gauge suitability. As the world awaits the white smoke that will signal the election of Pope Francis' successor, many actions and inactions have taken place, which is stepping down of a cardinal following allegations, while Vatican Doutio ill not participating due to ill health. Now, in the latest development, reports said Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio has replaced Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin as the new favorite to become the next pope following the death of Pope Francis. The odds released by British bookmaker William Hill had former Archbishop of Manila Tagle as the favorite at 9/4, that is 30.8%, ahead of Parolin, currently the Vatican Secretary, who is at 5/2, that is 28.6%. They are followed by Ghanaian Peter Turkson at 5/1, that is 16.7%. Archbishop of Bologna, Matthew Zuppi, with 11/2, 15.4%. Hungarian Primate Peter Eder with 7/1, 12.5%. Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Pietro Pizzaballa at 18/1, 11.1%. And Guinean Cardinal Robert Sarah with 10/1, 9.1%. This is a noticeable reversal from the odds William Hill offered on April 25, when it had Parolin in the lead with 5/2, that is 28.6%, followed by Tagle with 11/4, that is 26.7%, and Turkson with 11/2, 15.4%. A strict priest, a missionary, a Lutheran convert, another report has said, are all considered front runners to be the next pope. It said there are no official candidates for the papacy, but some cardinals are considered papabile or possessing the characteristic necessary to become pope. But if Tagle, who currently heads the dicastery for evangelization, is elected, he will be the first Asian to be the pope. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Let's now join Reverend Father Kevin Anetu of the Catholic Diocese Uromi live via Zoom for more insight on the process of electing a new pope. Father, there are so many stories that an African may end up being elected as the new pope this time. What are the possibilities?
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's a privilege and it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much. Well, I listened with rapt interest to your introductory report. And, you know, it's usual for there to be so much media speculation at this time, and a lot of persons trying to project who they think the next pope will be. You know, like the reporter said, there are those who are saying to be Papa Bile, that is those who have the qualities of who will be pope. But you know, realistically, this does not matter. It does not matter because media speculations do not usually guide or direct what happens during a conclave for the election of a new pope. Just as a lot of persons have been projecting candidates that they feel will become pope, Africans have also been saying, look, we think it's our turn because, you know, Africa is one of the highest growing Catholic population in the world. You know, of course, we now have a lot of cardinals, about 18 of them, who are cardinal electors. That means that they will be participating at this next conclave, which is to begin next tomorrow on Wednesday. So yes, Africans are saying the African population, the African Catholic population is growing. There is the rising influence of our African cardinals. If an African becomes pope at this time, it will greatly boost the faith in Africa. But realistically, like I said earlier, this is not the way it works. Pope John Paul II wrote an apostolic exhortation. That document, Universi Dominici Gregis, stipulates all of the rules and regulations of a conclave. And all of this lobbying and politicking and projections are explicitly forbidden. So the reporter mentioned at the beginning that the cardinals are at this point having general congregations. Also, there are particular congregations, right? So these general congregations, the cardinals meet, they discuss all of the laws and the rules and regulations of the conclave, and they talk about, you know, what the church needs at this point in time. They talk generally around the issues. No one projects himself or projects another at this point as a candidate for the papacy, because election for a pope is done by secret balloting in the Sistine Chapel. So each cardinal elector will go into the Sistine Chapel on the 7th of May and write in a secret ballot, in a handwriting that cannot be, deciphered as his. You know, he writes that, he folds the ballot, he raises it up, and he drops it in the receptacle allotted. So no other person sees that except the 3 cardinals and the Camerlengo, who will then open these ballots at the end of each voting session and announce, you know, the names that are written on those ballots. So yes, Africans can speculate, Europeans can speculate, Americans can speculate, but in the end, no one can really determine who becomes pope. We believe that it is directed, the entire process is directed by the Holy Spirit. We've had situations where we thought one person was favorite to be pope and someone relatively unknown emerged as pope.
This is quite interesting, Father Kevin Anutu. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Staff in Nigerian universities are calling for inclusivity and transparency in the implementation of the student loan scheme initiated by the federal government to support Nigerian students achieve their educational dreams. National Chairman of the Joint Action Committee of the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, NASU, and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, presented the standpoint of the workers to newsmen in Abuja. Joseph Otsen reports.
In here is leadership of non-teaching staff in Nigerian universities, critically analyzing issues bothering development in the nation's education system. And a major policy the staff relish is the Students' Loan Scheme, initiated by the federal government as practiced in other countries prioritizing education as a pillar for growth.
Labor was initially
involved in the board membership of the NELFON. NLC was represented, meaning the voices of the masses will be heard through its representation. But there was a sudden review, and that NLC was removed. And this becomes even more suspicious, because as far as workers are concerned today, whose children are the ones who are supposed to be benefiting from this, they are not informed.
The non-teaching staff of Nigerian University drew attention against marginalization, especially in the disbursement of the federal government-approved 50 billion naira earned allowances for university staff.
We have a circular from the Ministry of Education and from the National Universities Commission asking universities to file in their requests, to file in the data of people who are entitled to those allowances. And actually that is what will make sense.
For these workers, the university system will be handicapped if those responsible for its operations are not motivated. In Abuja, Joseph Oten, NTA News.
We'll take another break now and we'll be back with more reports. Stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Justice is taking its course in the cases of two separate incidents of brutal beating of children that recently sparked public outrage in Borno State. The victims, schoolgirls Hawa and her sister, and an Almajiri boy, Bashir Gaji, were brutally assaulted in different cases that went viral on social media. Pauline Kujevana has the update on these incidents.
The first incident involves Maman Shatima, who was caught on videos violently beating two schoolgirls, Hawa and her sister, for allegedly plugging mangoes from his compound, while his wife recorded the assault. They have now been formally charged to court.
Such individuals in our community we must hold them accountable for their actions. And we have already arraigned him in court. He is in custody, and inshallah we'll try to see and ensure that his trial is speedy.
Another deeply disturbing video that surfaced online in Maiduguri, showing a man identified as Bukar Madu violently assaulting a young Almajiri boy alleged to be one of his students, has also been arraigned. These legal actions were confirmed by the Borno State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Hawa Abubakar, and reiterated Governor Babagana Umar Zulum's zero-tolerance policy for any act that threatens the well-being of children and other vulnerable persons in the state.
Almajiri and the Sangha system has been with us even before the advent of Western education. We have, our foreparents have benefited from it, and they pass it on to us, and we're still passing it on to the generations to come. This has nothing to do with Islamic way of teaching. This is purely brutality in its own way. I must commend our law enforcement agencies for their prompt and proactiveness when this thing happened. He was arrested, and appropriate measures were being taken, and we are committed to see that justice is served in this case.
Meanwhile, in a compassionate response to the abuse, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has provided a house and approved an educational scholarship for Bashir Gaji, an orphan of the insurgency who is currently under the care of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. These swift responses, both legal and humanitarian, underline the state government determination to protect vulnerable children and ensure that perpetrators of abuse are brought to justice.
Well, in a touching gesture of compassion and community service, the Secretary to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Rose Omoa Orionro Anthony, marked her birthday with an outreach to the Restored Destiny Child Orphanage Foundation in One Man Village, Ado, Nasarawa State. Olushe Adiagbo reports on the celebration and a special Thanksgiving service in Abuja.
While birthdays in Nigeria, especially those of high-profile individuals, are often marked by lavish celebrations, Rose Omo Oriano Anthony, Secretary to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, chose a different path. In commemoration of her birthday, she visited the Restored Destiny Child Orphanage Foundation in Nasarawa State, donating food and other essential items to the children. For Rose Oriano Anthony, this gesture is not a one-time event. She reflects her long-standing commitment to the orphanage and the children she adopted years ago.
For over almost 18 years now, I've been coming to celebrate with orphans. I feel fulfilled each time I'm with them because the children are innocent. So I just feel that this life will be a better place if we can show love to people who cannot say thank you to you.
Through the Sunday and Omokore Oriano Foundation, a non-governmental organization funded by her family, she and her siblings have continued to support and uplift vulnerable groups, especially children in need.
She's come here with welfare for them as usual. Now, this is something she does all the time, birthday or no birthday.
We believe in giving, helping, and that's what everybody in the family. So even with her, you can tell you share and you see people getting happy with whatever you're giving to them. There is this joy, this fulfillment it brings to you.
Long life, good health, and God should also prosper her so that she can do more, better than this.
The birthday celebration reached a spiritual crescendo with a special Thanksgiving service at the Fallon Christian Center in Apo, Abuja. Family members, including some who traveled from outside the country, joined church leaders, members of the congregation, and the women's department in giving thanks to God for her life and grace. Clergymen took turn offering heartfelt prayers for God's continued blessings.
It is well with you. Go and excel.
Honestly, those orphans, there are some whose school fees is just 1,700 naira, some 3,000 naira, and they can't afford it. So all it means is, from the little you have, make a difference. You don't have to wait until you become a millionaire.
She's a woman that always needs to be celebrated with all the things she does, the way she touches the lives of other people. I have been affected a lot.
Dr. Mrs. Rose has been a blessing to the church.
She just loves people, despite their background, despite their tribe. He loves people unconditionally. And I love her for that. And I love the fact that she loved God so much.
My wishes for her is long life, in good health. She will live to take her daughter to husband's house.
And my prayer for her is that as she lives this life of impact, God will continually impact on her children.
For the INEC Secretary, every moment since May 1st, when she marked another year, is one of fulfillment and gratitude. In Abuja, Oluseye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Now, from the National Assembly, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has described Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu as a dependable partner and a reliable co-pilot in running the affairs of the 10th Assembly. While congratulating Kalu on his 54th birthday, Speaker Abbas extols his deputy as a hardworking, resourceful and goal-oriented lawmaker who shares similar passions concerning the growth and development of the nation. The Speaker wishes Kalu many more years in good health and divine wisdom for national service. Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, says the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to working hand in hand with traditional institutions to continue to promote peace and unity across the country. He stated this during the distribution of vehicles to traditional rulers in Kaduna State. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
Traditional rulers, including the emirs and chiefs from various emirate councils and chiefdoms, converge here to receive these vehicles as custodians of the people's cultural heritage to enhance their dignity as image makers.
The constitutional review ongoing in the National Assembly is very, very particular about finding means and ways of increasing the role of traditional institutions in Nigeria.
Governance is about everyone. It's about the major stakeholders, and with the Speaker leading, I want other members of the National Assembly, whether you are a PDP, Labour Party, APC, it doesn't matter. What is more important is our state, is the development of Kaduna State. And we collaborate with everyone, irrespective of party affiliation or whatever. For us, it's Kaduna that is first.
We thank you immensely. Everybody is happy. We're happy with the government. We're happy with this intervention.
With this symbolic handover, the vehicles are now set to serve as vital tools for strengthening the traditional institutions across Kaduna State. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
And in politics, former speakers of various state houses of assembly elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have declared firm support for the party's legal efforts to reclaim mandates from elected officials who defected after winning elections on its platform. This formed part of resolutions reached after the forum's emergency meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
State of the People's Democratic Party topped the agenda of this meeting, convened by the Forum of former PDP speakers of Houses of Assembly. The forum expressed unreserved backing of PDP's resolve to challenge the legality of such defections in court, including the high-profile case of the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Oborowori, and others in line with the position earlier articulated by the party's National Working Committee.
We in the forum urge the party as a matter of urgency to organize a national retreat to major stakeholders of the party across the country to discuss way forward.
On internal party matters, the forum urged the PDP to remain resolute in its plans to hold its national convention as scheduled. Calling on PDP lawmakers in the National Assembly to present a united front, the forum emphasized the need for the opposition to function more robustly. The forum also raised concerns about the security situation in the country, citing the violence and attacks in Benue, Plateau, and Borno states. It extended condolences to victims and affected communities, calling for urgent federal intervention. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Nigerian Correctional Service refutes recent claims of poor inmate feeding, calling them recycled, misleading, and untrue. A statement by the Service Public Relations Officer, Abubakar Umar, explains that feeding of inmates is guided by the Correctional Service Act of 2019, with meals meeting health standards and monitored by ration committees. The service also confirms a new 1,125 naira daily feeding rate per inmate, approved by the federal government to reflect current economic realities. Independent bodies, it says, including civil society and international partners, regularly inspect facilities, and none has reported such dehumanizing conditions. Omar urges the public to verify claims and avoid sensational reports that undermine ongoing reforms and the dignity of the system. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force continues to record major breakthroughs in its fight against crime through intelligence-led operations nationwide. A statement by the force notes that in separate incidents, operatives neutralized 3 notorious bandits, rescued 2 kidnapped victims, arrested 9 suspected kidnappers, and recovered a significant cache of arms and stolen vehicles. The statement adds that in Benue State, police operatives acting on credible intelligence engaged a group of bandits in a gun battle near the Segando axis in Sankera. The suspects linked to Shitile and Ukum areas were reportedly planning attacks on security agents. 3 bandits sustained fatal injuries and later died in hospital. Recovered from the scene were 2 locally made firearms and live cartridges. Similarly, in Delta State, the CP Special Assignment Team arrested a suspected serial car snatcher, Henry Okbo, and recovered a pump-action gun and 2 suspected stolen vehicles. In a separate operation, 2 confirmed cultists, Mudiaga Okparume and Arinze Hombo, were apprehended with Beretta pistols and ammunition, following a kidnapping in Aboro. On April 26, operatives rescued 2 victims from Uvuama Forest, arrested 9 suspects and recovered multiple firearms and cartridges. The Combat Arms Training Week 2025 of the Nigerian Army has been rounded up with a live firepower demonstration exercise at Victor Kute Armored Range 1, Bauchi, for the participants to see the techniques the Nigerian Army is using in various theaters of operations across the country. Muazu Hassan reports.
This live firepower demonstration exercise is the final phase of the 2025 Combat Arms Training Week, co-hosted by the Nigerian Army Infantry and Armor Corps. The exercise is the first-hand performance of complete support weapons, armor personnel carriers of infantry, and armored fighting vehicle of the Nigerian Army Armor Corps Infantry.
The enemy is not here, but they will feel it at the end of the barrel by the time they see us. As I speak to you, the government has already bought a lot of equipment and weapons. Some are already in the field, some are still coming. The President, Commander-in-Chief, and our leader, the Chief of Army Staff, are working vigorously to ensure that the changes that they have promised Nigerians are seen and reflected in the field as at the earliest possible convenience.
The Chief of Army Staff representative says the live firepower demonstration exercise is important for the participants to see the capabilities that are used to execute various operations. Strengthening combat arms cooperation in joint environment, a prerequisite for success in counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations, is the theme for this year's Combat Arms Training Week. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our major stories. President Tinubu to meet with power generation companies to resolve debt threatening stability in power sector. Federal government advances clean energy solutions and climate-smart agriculture for sustainable development at grassroots.
Where it is needed most, in homes, farms, industries, and markets.
Nigerian Correctional Service refutes claims of poor inmate feeding. And PDP former speakers of various state houses of assembly support party's legal action to reclaim mandates from defected officials.
We in the forum urge the party as a matter of urgency to organize a national retreat.
The issue of climate change and its impact on the global community has continued to be a subject of discussion on possible ways of mitigating the impacts on the society. In line with this, the Federal Road Safety Corps, Bayelsa State Sector Command, in collaboration with tree planters, launched a tree planting campaign in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital. Baratua Pere Awe reports.
The tree planting campaign, which took place at the Federal Road Safety Corps Command Office in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, drew the attention of key environmental stakeholders, signaling a renewed commitment to environmental conservation in Bayelsa State, with stakeholders reflecting on a broader recognition of the need for urgent and unified action to address the climate crisis. In line with the theme of the 2025 World Environment Day, Ending Plastic Pollution, Our Land, Our Future, necessitated the Federal Road Safety Corps Bayelsa Sector Command to embark on the tree planting exercise and the clearing of plastic waste from drainages. The exercise emphasized the pressing need for joint efforts to confront climate-related challenges, which is a serious global concern threatening human survival.
It's not my generation, for instance, that is going to be the direct beneficiary. It's the future generation, the youth, who are here in support of what we are doing. We have educated them, we have talked to them the importance of, let them know why we are planting trees at this time. By the time these trees come to begin to bear, it will be in their own time. And we pray too that they will sustain this tempo in their own time too. Even from right now, they begin to plant trees that will benefit future generations.
While the world is grappling with the devastating impact of climate change, initiatives such as this by the FRSC are not just commendable but vital. They offer a beacon of hope in a collective quest for environmental restoration.
We have used our own hands to destroy this world. The whole world is suffering from the ecosystem. And today, I have joined my friends, Federal Road Safety Corps, to plant trees, to clean the environment, and also pick all the debris of plastic from the environment.
Tree planting plays a crucial role in restoring ecological balance and improving public health. We hope this campaign ignites a wider environmental consciousness and encourages communities across the state and beyond to join in the movement. In Yenagoa, Baratua Pere Awe, NTA News.
And on health, the first round of the 2025 National Immunization Plus Days aimed at eradicating polio and strengthening routine immunization recorded an impressive turnout in Anambra State. Jane Francis Obi reports that health teams have been strategically deployed to fixed posts and temporary vaccination points to ensure comprehensive coverage.
Polio is a life-threatening disease that can affect the brain and spinal cord, causing paralysis or even death, especially among children. The immunization program is to protect children from ages 0 to 59 months against the polio virus infection. Some parents captured during the fieldwork aired their opinions on the importance of the vaccine.
The immunization is good for children. Prevention is better than cure.
Immunization is a good thing. It prevents the kids from a lot of sicknesses. So I prefer to immunize my kids.
The nationwide immunization against polio also took place in the 21 local government areas of Anambra State. Describing the immunization program as very successful, some health officials said the turnout was impressive, attributing it to the level of awareness created.
Currently, I'm at the PHC Eziowole, Primary Healthcare Center, Eziowole, to monitor at the fixed posts, to monitor what they're doing. So from what I saw on ground, they're doing well.
I don't have any non-compliant. Everybody's agreeing. Even the people that went outside, people agree.
In case where the parent is not around, we plan for a visit.
And we went to the field. So far, so good. Today is day one. With all the ups and downs, we were able to get things done very well.
As area directed by the Executive Secretary, Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Chisomuchem, the vaccine was taken from house to house, churches and other places children can be found. There is no cure for polio. Vaccination is the best way to prevent polio. Parents are, however, advised to make their children available for the free and effective vaccine against polio virus. In Awka, Jem Francis Obi, NTN News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rejoices with Sheikh Abdul Ghani Abubakar Agbotu Mo Kekere, the chief imam of Ibadan land, Grand Imam of Oyo State and Grand Patron of the League of Imams and Alfas of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta states on his 90th birthday. President Tinubu extols Sheikh Agbotu Mo Kekere for his exemplary life of uprightness, humility and steadfast devotion to the service of Allah and humanity. Sheikh Agbotu Mo Kekere, a custodian of Islamic values and the teacher of teachers, has devoted his life to promoting peace and unity for decades. A scion of a lineage of Islamic scholars and imams, his influence extends beyond Ibadan land. President Tinubu lauds the chief imam's outstanding spiritual guidance and leadership. Finally, the president joins the Muslim Ummah in praying that the Sheikh will live many years in good health, joy and a sound mind. Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has commiserated with the family of former Deputy Governor of Kogi State, late Chief Patrick Adaba, and the entire people of Ebira land, urging them to emulate the peace that he lived for. He said this at his funeral held at Christ the King's Catholic Church, Okene. Ajibola Christopher reports.
Usman Ododo, who describes the late former Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Patrick Adaba, as a symbol of humility, who lived a life worthy of emulation, notes that the wisdom and counsel of late Chief Patrick Adaba remains a guiding light for many even after his death. The governor says the state is mourning a hero whose footprints are indelible in the sands of history in the state. He notes that although Chief Patrick Adaba has departed the world, his legacies of integrity and services to humanity will continue to speak for him in generations to come.
Chief Patrick Adaba was not just a former governor or dead. He was a symbol of dignity, humility, and dedicated service to our people and our destiny.
Catholic Bishop of the Diocese of Lokoja, Most Reverend Martin Olonrumolu, appreciates the governor for the show of love to the church and the family of the deceased, praying God for the sustenance of his political career, while admonishing the people to always dedicate their lives to the services of God. Earlier, son of the deceased, Patrick Adaba Jr., expresses gratitude that his father lived a life worthy of emulation. He appreciates everyone that attended the burial and their prayers.
He does have a legacy. He has touched the lives of people, and he will continue to be remembered as someone who was generous.
Other signatories at the burial include top government officials, religious leaders, and former governor of Kogi State, Captain Idris Wada. Ajibola Christopher, NTN News.
It's time now for sports news.
Nigeria's Flying Eagles and the Junior Atlas of Morocco played a 0-0 draw in their second Group B match of the 2025 Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt on Sunday. The result means Morocco are on 4 points and they lead the group, while the Flying Eagles, also on 4 points, are second. Tunisia, who defeated Kenya 3-1 in the early kick-off on Sunday, are third on 3 points, and Kenya occupy bottom with no points. Kenya are now eliminated from the competition following the defeat to the Tunisians. The Flying Eagles will take on Kenya in their final group tie on Wednesday, May 7th, while Morocco will face Tunisia. In Formula 1, McLaren's Oscar Piastri won for the 4th time in 6 races this year as he beat teammate Lando Norris in an action-packed Miami Grand Prix. Both McLaren drivers fought intense battles with early leader Max Verstappen's Red Bull as they moved up to the front of the field. Piastri, who started 4th, drove a race of clinical excellence to pass both Mercedes' Kimi Antonelli and then Verstappen to assume the lead before managing his gap to his pursuers to the end.
And the Australian driver will see the checkered flag first. Oscar Piastri wins the Miami Grand Prix. 3 Grand Prix victories in a row. It's a 1-2 for the team. And it was Lando last year, it's Oscar in 2025, taking home the largest trophy on Sunday.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.